Hey guys, this is Tom Reek with South Carolina Lumber and Supply in Cayce, South Carolina. I've been asked to make this video on behalf of all of our stores. We're NC Lumber Supply, Tennessee Lumber Supply, South Carolina Lumber Supply, and Georgia Supply, and Mississippi Lumber Supply. You can look at our main website at www.nclumbersupply.com, find all of our locations, meet all of our people, and come see us. But I wanted to talk to you today about pine flooring. Pine flooring comes in several different grades. Now we carry all of them at all of our locations, but of course you're going to probably see some of the other stuff. We carry a lot of factory second, shiplap, V-joint, beaded ceiling, that kind of thing, along with flooring. But I want to give you a quick idea on what the differences are between the different grades of pine flooring. First, which is obvious, this is a heart pine floor, and you can tell obvious color difference between the heart pine and not heart pine. We also carry a de-embedder, which is basically a clear board, very few knots. In fact, these two don't have any knots, so this would actually be a C-embedder. But we do carry some de-embedder in here. We carry a number 2, which is a knot, allows for a number 2 knot. Now the cool thing is that knot is on a 2-foot piece. That may be the only knot in a 12-foot board. So you get a lot of clear lumber, but you still get some character, okay? So this was cut out of a number 2. There's another small blemish. Then we get into a factory second. Factory second, and I cut these to show some of the most obvious difference. That's a through knot hole. That may be the only thing in that 12-foot board. Here again, you're just gonna take that out and you still have good lumber. Good sound knots in there as well. Maybe a bad end, whatever, but you'll just cut that. Now, I recommend saving your sawdust. You can mix it with, say, a good quality wood glue, Type Bond, any of that, and mix it in with a little bit of stain, and you can use that as a knot fill, sand, finish, and go from there. We also carry antique heart pine. This is the stuff that's reclaimed out of old cotton mills, old warehouses. Obvious color difference between this and even the new heart, okay? But the cool thing is, and what we hear a lot is, pine floors are too soft. We actually buy from mills that pull a tighter grain product, not big commodity mills that are pulling all their wood off a plantation where there's 3 growth rings per inch. If you'll look at the ends of these boards, even on these factory seconds, look at the growth rings per inch, okay? Not to say you won't get one open grained every now and again, but for the most part, you get a good dense product. Okay, so as far as the hardness of pine, yes, it is softer than red oak, which is softer than white oak, but it's not that much. You go to, say, a town, any of the coastal towns, all the way up the eastern shore, eastern seaboard, you look at these pine floors that are in these old houses in Charleston. They've been there for hundreds of years. Granted, it's a little bit different fiber than what we're getting today, but this heart pine will perform beautifully throughout the lifetime of your home. With minimal maintenance. I recommend a good oil finish versus a urethane. That way, if you do get a spot that you want to fix, you can rub out an oil finish and spot fix versus having to screen and resand and refinish your whole floor. So it's a little easier to deal with a good quality oil finish. I've used water locks for years, and I'm gonna debut something new. This is a very environmentally friendly, this is the Milk Paint Company, and we're gonna try these, and I've not even seen them, so it's gonna be fun to do this for the first time. But that gives you an idea. As far as price, as of the making of this film, which is late October 2020, price-wise, you're looking at about $350 a foot, $225-ish a foot, $1.90, $1.85 a foot, and anywhere from $1.05 to $1.10. Pine floors come 2.5 inches wide, up to 10 7/8 wide plank, a 1x12, run with tongue and groove. Anything wider than a 5 1/8, I recommend face nailing. 6 7/8, most people don't, but I recommend it. 1x10, 1x12, you definitely have to face nail because these floors will try to cup on you, okay? Good quality subfloor, good quality level subfloor. Installation's pretty simple, no different than any other thing. As far as surface prep, standard sand, standard finish, not a lot to it. You can water pop, just Google that, you'll see how to do it. If you're gonna stain your floors, that will prepare. Pine takes stain a little bit differently. but water popping allows for the stain. So let's open up some of this milk paint. I don't know if you're supposed to shake this stuff or not. No more mixing needed. Okay, this is just basically a half tung oil, half citrusine oil. So there are no VOCs. Waterlox has got a fair amount in it. So this is pretty environmentally friendly. And I'm just gonna pour a little bit on here. I've got the light colored tung oil, and then we also have a darker tung oil. So I'm gonna see what these two look like on these boards, and I hope I don't make a big giant mess. Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, it finishes really nice. Really nice. So that's just a regular tung oil. And I smell it. I wish y'all could smell this. It smells like tangerines. All right, so that's that one. That's the light, and I'm gonna set that beside it. And then I'm gonna go with the darker tung oil on this one, this next one. That way we'll see some contrast. And what I saw in the video when I was kind of figuring out what this stuff was, oh yeah, I can tell the difference in looking at it. I may have a new favorite once I pour this on here, guy. And this is just a darker tung oil. Yeah, I like that a lot. Really gives it some cool color, some cool character. It seems to bring the deepen the grain a little bit. All right, so since I'm on dark, those are your two heart pines. There's not a huge difference. I would say multiple coats, I'd say you'll notice some differences. But since we got dark out and on my cloth already, let's go dark on this guy. As I try not to make a big giant mess. Very nice. And that's just on a clear piece of pine. All right, let's go. If I can do this without dumping one of these bottles, that's gonna be impressive. All right, let's put the clear on here. And where I spilled a little bit of the dark is coming through, but that's just basically going to give you a finish over the original. I see more contrast. If I was going to go with something, my choice so far would be the regular half and half on heart pine. I don't think it's worth the difference unless you go here again multiple coats. All right, so let's do this so that I can get these spread out a little bit. But yeah, this stuff smells fantastic. Sometimes with the high VOC stuff, unless you're well ventilated, you might want to have a bag of Doritos handy because it's pretty strong. Pretty strong. All right, let's go with the dark on this board. This is going to be pretty cool. All right, and then let's go with the dark on the factory second. And this is just a single coat. Multiple coats, of course, will darken and give it more. Now, let's see if I can get a little bit of that dark off of there, a little dark off of there. And then let's put the lighter on here. Yeah, the light is going to be very similar to just anything without a stain. So if you were going to stain these floors to the color of your choice, then you could certainly come in a good oil-based stain with an oil finish. So that is the Milk Paint brand of light tung oil and darker tung oil. absolutely beautiful. I really like this dark. It's pretty cool. I'm gonna rub that a little more. I like it all, actually. I really do. What do you think, Guy?
It looks pretty good.
Yeah. And like I said, it smells like I'm standing in the middle of a orange orchard. But that's the stuff I'm using. And those are available at all of our locations as well as regular tung oil, Waterlox tung oil, and like a quality cooking show. I have some of that already prepared because I've been using Waterlox for 15 years, and this is the Waterlox on just a regular heart pine floor. Okay, so that'll give you an idea of what a good quality oil finish. And like I said, if you scratch it, it's just a matter of steel wool, sand it down, and you can reapply the oil straight over. This is a big time penetrating oil. I mean, I'm looking at the ends over here, and granted, I did pour it on there. But when I look at the penetration on this stuff, I don't know what your end looks like, but I see really nice. And I mean, I'm already seeing dry spots, so this stuff will dry pretty quick. But that is half tung oil, half citrusine oil. We also have just straight tung oil. You can do your own cutting. Raw tung oil takes a long time to dry, so you'll definitely want to cut it with some citrusine oil or mineral spirits. You can Google as to how to handle raw tung oil, but I'm a huge fan of the tung oil products on pine floors, pine ceilings, pine walls. I just love oil and what it does for it. So if you have any questions, our phone number here is 803-608-3097. Here again, check us out on the internet. We're www.nclumbersupply.com. That will tell all of our store locations, and find the one nearest you. We will save you about half, in some cases 2/3 of retail when you're looking at lumber. We don't typically carry regular commodity stuff. We are a specialty yard with floors, walls, and ceilings is what we do and do well. But all of us are ready to handle any of your questions, and look forward to working with you on your next projects. Thank you so much.